Hi, Dave from Informed America. How are all of you today? Asking you the question, are you ready for President Kamala Harris? Question for all of you. Love to know what you think about that. Already getting some reaction here on the announcement post of the video. Love to go ahead and share your thoughts. Just comment right below the video. Let me know what you think about this scenario, about Biden picking Kamala Harris as his vice presidential running mate, and what that may mean, implications of that going forward. And of course, many of you have been suspicious of Joe Biden, of his ability, his mental capacities. And so what does that mean for who might potentially take over for him should something happen to Joe Biden and not continued, or maybe this has been a speculation for a while now, that the whole plan was just for him to get in office and just basically roll over for who might be his vice presidential nominee. Now, interestingly, President Trump reacted to this saying, "She was my number one pick," which I thought was kind of a funny thing. And he said here, he tweeted out just a bit ago, "Kamala Harris started strong in the Democrat primaries and finished weak, ultimately fleeing the race with almost zero support. That's the kind of opponent everyone dreams of." So President Trump taking his shots. They already had an ad that's been an ad ready to go on this announcement, basically saying Democrat voters didn't like Kamala Harris, but Joe Biden wasn't smart enough to realize that and basically picked a loser or something like that. That was pretty much the message. Interestingly, what did we for all the with the radical stuff going on the left, and push from many different factions on the left, what the ticket ended up being was very similar to 2016. You think things might have changed since Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine, but in fact, what you end up with is a very establishment ticket. Joe Biden is as establishment as it gets. Was a senator for, I don't know, since the dinosaur times, and Senator Kamala Harris, who's only in her first term as a senator, but has been the Attorney General of California, and long been an establishment Democrat establishment favorite. So you end up with two people, nobody radical, nobody changed. It's very much down the line. Wall Street likes Kamala Harris. Silicon Valley likes Kamala Harris. And of course, the Democrat Party now is the party of, ironically, or maybe not ironically, but it's just the way things shook out, is the Democrat Party is now the party of Wall Street and Silicon Valley, interestingly. So they supported that decision. And, it's going to be curious how this thing shakes out. I mean, she was a prosecutor, as Democrats are running for basically police reform and all that, and she has a record of being a very intense, strong prosecutor, and even there's some instances of her laughing at putting people in jail, so that's probably going to come up again. I've got a couple of things I want to share here, some interesting things here. Now, in terms of, what was Biden thinking? Why did he pick her? And interesting as well, it's just, was he thinking? And here's a tweet from last night that I want to share with all of you. It says, Joe Biden had to read from a script when he told Kamala Harris she was his pick. I mean, he couldn't just, that's interesting, right? I mean, he couldn't just call her up and say, have a few words prepared in his mind. Senator Harris, I'd like you to be my running mate. I don't know how much you need to say there, why you need to memorize it. It's a simple question that she'll say yes. And we talk about, we got to beat Trump and Pence and all that. And that's the other thing too. Many people on the left side of the aisle are salivating at the thought of Kamala Harris potentially, destroying Mike Pence in a debate. We'll see. Pence is, we all know who Mike Pence is. He's sort of more of a calm, reserved type of guy, and Kamala Harris is not afraid to throw punches in a debate, and certainly she threw them against Joe Biden, effectively insinuating that he was a racist. There's some debate on I don't know, she didn't actually say that word, but talking about Biden's support for, I guess, segregation and busing and all that sort of a thing. So she went on and on at him, absolutely attacked him. And there's even, if you remember the Tara Reade accusation against Joe Biden, Kamala Harris came out saying she believed the accusers. I don't know if she's really going to have to answer for that, but interesting. But here's the crux of the issue. And this idea, and it's not it's not coming from me. But President Kamala Harris, is that this the contention here is she really the one who's going to be president? And what is and I've heard this called a very cynical ticket on the Democrat side, which is essentially, as we've been told, that Biden was the most electable, and they get another establishment favorite as his running mate who can potentially do a lot behind the scenes, and then maybe more than that. Look at, and it's not me. This idea is already being floated by the mainstream media. Take a look at this from CNN. Joe Biden made the pick that maximized his chances of continuing to make the race a straight referendum on Trump, while also selecting someone whose resume suggests being ready to step in if and when Biden decides to step aside. I mean, okay. I mean, they're just coming right out and saying it now. So, I mean, if and when Biden decides to step aside, like when, on January 21st? Is he just gonna, or will Biden just at least pretend to be president for a little while? So that does make it is very cynical to essentially is to run basically this a Trojan horse. I mean, this is what is this the choice America is facing? Look, we got Joe Biden here dragging in the horse, and there's of course Senator Harris, along with Beto O'Rourke and Mayor Pete. I mean, is this the choice America's facing? And I believe Rasmussen polling came out. More than half of Americans, I don't know, it was like 55, 56%, basically don't even think Biden will be able to finish his first term. So Americans are, I mean, I would assume the Trump campaign would be jumping on this and basically saying that the Trojan horse argument. There's another meme floating around. I think I retweeted this on our Informed American Twitter account, which is, if any of you Lord of the Rings fans are familiar with this, you've got Grima Wormtongue, or Kamala Harris as Grima Wormtongue, and Joe Biden as his mind as addled King Theoden under a spell. So could this be a preview of what we might see in the Oval Office? Basically a Wormtongue scenario here. So that really is very interesting to think of it that way. I don't know. I would assume this is. I can't remember. Nothing offhand in history would. I can think of where the presidential nominee is so weak and people are just sort of outright saying, I mean, from CNN, that the guy's not going to last. America doesn't believe it. I mean, why would America, look, you hate Trump, but you're going to vote for a guy? I mean, at this point, just put up, I don't know, a pen. I got to maybe vote for an envelope, and then Kamala Harris is VP, whatever's here. I got a cup here, vote cup 2020. I don't know. It's very strange, the idea that he's just literal. I mean, to what degree does Biden even know what's going on here? To what degree was it actually his choice? Is he just happy to go along for the ride, become president, and then go off into the sunset? Some sort of thing. Very interesting. Very, very bizarre to me of how this is being treated. But there you have it, guys. Vice President Kamala Harris. And if many of you are skeptical of the polls right now, but Biden's leading, guys, right now. I mean, here we are in mid-August, and I said this. We said this in May. We said this in June. We said this in July. And now the things are tightening a bit. There's some evidence of that there is tightening, but I mean, odds are right now you will be getting President Kamala Harris, and Biden here is just a temporary stopgap for that plan. So that's the way things stand now. Love to know what you all think. Keep commenting below. I do want to read a couple of the comments here before I get out of here. When I posed the question, "Are you ready for Kamala Harris?" Pamela Chappell-Watt says, "No one is prepared for that." Kay Lane says, "President Kamala Harris, WTF? It'll never happen." Oh. Okay. Ella Everhard says, "No, take a look at what Hillary did." Ray Gallagher says, "Hell no." Christy Everhart Thomas, "Yes." So Christy is ready for President Kamala Harris. Jeanette Elster, "No." Carol Cummings, "Never gonna happen." And then we got a meme here about, I don't want to mention that one. And then there's another one, Joe and I don't want to mention those last two. But keep those comments going. Love to know what you think. Do you think that's the plan? Do you think, will it be this? Will it be Wormtongue and King Theoden? Will it be, or is it this? Is it Joe Biden wheeling in the Trojan horse for America? And of course, the CNN story. I mean, really setting the ground here. Unbelievable. I mean, someone prepared to step in if and when President Biden would step aside. Unbelievable. And I do agree. It is a highly cynical take. And I mean, what do Democrats think? I don't know. They're getting, I mean, this is definitely this is establishmentarian and a move, you might say, to the middle. It is interesting because Kamala Harris is rated, I believe, the third or fourth most liberal senator. And yet the more, I guess what you would call the base or the more left, the left wing of the Democrat Party actually doesn't like her. So it is interesting there. They would have not been their first choice. And I assume most of that is because of the establishment ties, and of course her being a strong prosecutor in an age when the far left of the Democrat side really pushing for extreme and drastic reform on law enforcement. So very, very interesting to see this how this shakes out. And again, please continue the conversation below. Love to know what you all think. It is just going to be a wild time, or it's going to be a wild 2.5 months as we get into this home stretch and we get into convention time, potentially debates. If anyone shows up for debates, who knows? But yeah, absolutely wild. So that now that both tickets are set, the stage is set, and we are really, really into this thing. It is an absolute, we are in the thick of this race now. It is going full steam ahead. Also, I want you all to head over to informedamerican.com where you can get real smart news in your inbox every single day. And of course, take a look out, be on the lookout for more videos here. Thanks so much for watching.